Hello, all. Hey, if you're a car enthusiast like me and you also wear belts to work or whatever, and let's face it, belts don't always wear so well, the leather ones anyway. Um, and they get old and just generally worn out and goofy looking after a while. And I was watching a thing on YouTube, and they were talking about taking a bicycle tire and turning it into a belt. And I was like, well, that's a really good idea. I had some extra bicycle tires that just don't fit anything I was going to use. And then I thought to myself, when you're trying to fit a serpentine belt to a project car, like I did a while back on my Trans Am, you end up buying a couple of belts because, you change the accessories and stuff, and there's no like exact you measure it as best you can, but you're always off by an inch or two, and you end up buying two or three belts. And sometimes you can return them, sometimes you can't. I was thinking, a serpentine belt is about the same width as a regular, and you get all the ridges and stuff. I mean, I guess you could also put it the regular way if it had some cool writing on it or something that you liked, like Goodyear or something. But I was thinking the ridges would be kind of cool. So I'm gonna make a belt or a couple. I'm gonna make two belts, one out of the tire, one out of the serpentine belt. Obviously the serpentine belt's gonna be easier because the tire you got to actually cut it and just use the middle piece. The only reason I'm even gonna bother with the tire instead of just doing the serpentine belt, which would be a lot easier, is I kind of like the tread design, and I do have these things laying around, and gosh, I'd really like to use them for something. So I'm gonna start by basically taking this apart, and you can just use a knife and just cut the stitching out of it. Also, you can use that as a template. And then this one here has two rivets in it. I'm gonna have to grind those down. No big deal. I might actually consider using the leather piece here, or maybe not. Maybe I'll use the rubber piece. I'll have to play with it and see what I want to do. I have to see what that leather piece looks like when I take it off. Anyway, the leather that I'm going to be taking off of this, I may reuse for a hold down for my hood. Maybe not this one. This one's kind of not so cool. But this one for sure is really a nice piece of leather, and I wouldn't waste anything like that something gave its life for, unless there was no use for it anymore. And that's why I want to at least reuse the buckles and such. There's no reason to be wasteful in this life. We throw away enough garbage as it is. So I'm gonna get started, and I'll do a little video thing as I go. Okay, so as you can see, I've got this one taken apart, and I now have a nice template because this basically loops over, and it was like this, and it loops over this piece, and this piece kind of goes on. I'm probably going to use rivets or actual screws and stuff that or not screws, but like tech bolts that are ground down when I'm done. I'll debate on that. But at least now I have a nice template for this particular one. This one's going to be for the tire because it's about the same width. And then I'll play with the serpentine belt, which should be actually quite a bit easier. But I just wanted to show you all taken apart. Excuse my heater's noise, it's cold in here. So I put it on a clamp right there so that I can kind of stretch it out. And I'm just cutting it with scissors. It cuts real easy. It's just kind of time consuming, but I figured if I held it straight, obviously the wire wants it to make a, hold its size. But once the wire's out of it, it's quite pliable. It actually feels kind of, well, not like leather, but it's it feels like a rubber vinyl type thing. So that's kind of cool. And it's very strong, so this should work out real well. Alright, so now we have our cut tire belt. No problem. And it's pretty damn long. I might be able to make two of them out of this thing. And then I might. We'll see. Maybe I won't use the serpentine belt right just yet. We'll see. But I'm going to get on putting everything together. And of course, first thing I got to do is make some holes. So I found the easiest way to cut this is if you, move it over about the same amount as the belt was. And then take your scissors and just go right on the edge of it, and you can make that little slice. So that's how I'm doing this. Alright, so what you end up with is this. You got your two cuts. Now I'm just going to take the scissors and snip off on both sides there. Okay. Okay, so I snipped it on the one side with my snippers there, and I'll get it on the other side as well. Okay, so got my cut in there, which is similar to the cut here. So now I can turn the sucker over, I'll put the buckle in there, and then it's just a matter of kind of figuring out how to secure it with some, well, I'm going to try some rivets, but we'll try a couple different methods here. Okay, so I just basically put the thing in there like that, and boy, it looks a lot like a belt, which is kind of freaking cool. So I'm kind of excited. Okay, now I have to put this piece in there, and then again I have to figure out how to secure this. A little bit of a tip, I found if you drill from the back, it doesn't cause as many issues as if you go through the front. So I just thought I'd share that. After thinking about it for a bit, I thought it'd be kind of cool just to use regular Tek screws on this thing. I'll grind them down, but yeah, I figured give it a more butch look, right? I still got to put the this piece on, this metal piece up here. I just wanted to get the first one in there first, but I don't want to forget, of course, to put that on there. That's next. Okay, starting to come together a little bit. So I got the Tek screw on there. Just going to tighten that up with the 210 mils. And then I think I'm going to grind this before I put the second one in, because it might be easier to do one at a time, I'm thinking, because otherwise, you know. Now, mind you, you're going to have the tangs sticking out there a little bit, but I could probably grind that down a hell of a lot. But we'll play. Let me see where this goes. Okay, so it's on there now, and now we're going to do a first set of grinding. So, got the grinding wheel here, and I'll go to town just a sec. Okay, as always, wear your safety glasses, very important. I've had these things try to kill me before. I'm not going to do this with one hand, there's no way in heck, but I will just give you a quick idea what I'm up to. Alright, the rest of this I'm going to do with two hands if you don't mind. I'll show you what it looks like after. Alright, so obviously I could go deeper if I want to. I may or may not. I'm going to try it the way it is and see if it's acceptable. If it is, we're good. If I need to go deeper, then I'll go deeper. So, working on screw number 2. And I got the buckle in there and all that good stuff. And then I'll grind this one down as well. Alright, grinding number 2. Again, I'm not going to do this one-handed, okay? Alright, so that's both of them on there. I'm going to let this cool down. I'm going to put a hole in it for the belt for sizing, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so that is the tire belt done. It's on me. It fits. I don't have to do anything with the screws either. They're fine. Don't feel them or anything, and feels pretty decent. It's a little harder to get it through the loops because it's rubber, so it is a little sticky, but that might get better in time. But I think it looks pretty good. I don't think you'd even notice it if you didn't. I mean, it just looks like a belt. And it's totally functional, so I'm pretty cool with that. So at any rate, that's my video on how to make a belt. If you have any questions, please put them below. Please subscribe to my channel, and you guys have a great day. Bye.